Hi, welcome back guys, this is your friend, Mr. Fused Fiction Hub, bringing you another amazing story. This is the next part in A Bizarre Encounter. I am the author of this story. So let's begin. Chapter 13, Preparations and a Goodbye. New Vegeta, age 737. 1989, the sun's gentle rays streamed through the window, casting a warm glow in the rest area of the medical building. As the group gradually woke up and climbed out of their beds, they gathered their thoughts and prepared for the day ahead. Abdul, Jotaro, Fasha, Joseph, Suzuki, Tomoko, and Josuke made their way downstairs, their footsteps echoing softly in the hallway. To their surprise, the Saiyan nurse approached them, a reassuring smile on her face. Your friend Kakyoin, Sadeo, and Polnareff are fine and fully healed. They are getting dressed at the moment, she informed them, her voice filled with a sense of relief. After a few minutes, the privacy curtains were drawn back, and Polnareff, Sadeo, and Kakyoin emerged from behind them. Sadeo's expression held a tinge of sadness as he glanced towards the healing tanks, where Holly remained in a peaceful slumber. Joseph, Jotaro, and Suzuki exchanged understanding looks, silently acknowledging the pain they all shared. Kakyoin and Polnareff approached the group, their faces etched with remorse. We are deeply sorry for the actions we took under Dio's control, they both apologized, their voices filled with sincerity. Abdul, placing a hand on each of their shoulders, offered a comforting gesture. If I were in your shoes, under his control, I might have done the same, he reassured them, his voice carrying a sense of empathy. The weight of guilt seemed to ease from their shoulders as they realized they were not solely responsible for their actions. Jotaro, his gaze focused and unwavering, asked the question that had been on their minds. Why did you both decide to join Dio? He inquired, his voice tinged with a mix of curiosity and determination. Kakyoin took a deep breath before answering. I was forced into it. He ambushed me during a family holiday in Cairo, Egypt, he explained, recounting the moment that had changed his life forever. Polnareff, his voice filled with a mix of grief and determination, held up a picture of his sister. Guile, a killer, took Sherry, my sister, away from me, he shared, his eyes shimmering with unshed tears. Dio promised me justice, and I was blinded by my need for closure. Sadeo, his voice laced with regret, revealed his own unsuspecting encounter with Dio. I didn't know what was happening at first. Dio approached me after a concert, pretending to be a part of my organization. Little did I know, he led me to my car and stabbed me with a golden arrow, he recounted, his voice trembling slightly. I was left bleeding, and then suddenly, I was fine. From that point on, his influence grew within me. It only fully took effect during the final match. The group listened attentively, each story weaving together a tapestry of pain, manipulation, and lost innocence. The pieces of the puzzle were finally falling into place, and a sense of clarity began to emerge. Joseph, his voice steady and determined, broke the silence. We must plan our next move against Dio, he declared, the fire of determination burning in his eyes. The group nodded in agreement, their resolve strengthening with each passing moment. Joseph, Fasha, and the rest of the group stood before the imposing doors of King Vegeta's throne room, their hearts filled with a mixture of hope and anticipation. They knew that seeking the guidance and assistance of the king was essential in their mission to stop Dio, the vampire who posed a threat not only to them but potentially to the entire kingdom. As they bowed respectfully before Zorn, one of King Vegeta's trusted advisors, he regarded them with a stern expression. His piercing gaze seemed to scrutinize their intentions, testing the strength of their resolve. Speak your case, he commanded, his voice carrying authority. If I find your plea worthy, you will be granted an audience with the king. Fasha stepped forward, her voice filled with earnestness and determination. We come seeking guidance and assistance, she began, her words carefully chosen. Dio, the vampire, has been relentless in his pursuit to eliminate the Joestars and their allies. His power poses a grave threat not only to us but potentially to King Vegeta himself. We know his location in Egypt and must put an end to his reign of terror. Zorn pondered their words, his expression betraying a hint of contemplation. The weight of their request and the potential consequences seemed to weigh heavily upon him. After a brief silence, he finally spoke, his tone carrying a sense of measured authority. You may enter and plead your case before the king. He granted them permission, his decision made. With gratitude in their hearts, the group entered the throne room, their footsteps echoing in the grand chamber. King Vegeta sat upon his ornate throne, his regal presence commanding respect and admiration. They approached with reverence, mindful of the great responsibility that lay before them. As they stood before the king, Joseph, the pillar of their group, began to speak. His voice echoed with conviction and determination, each word carefully chosen. Your Majesty, we stand before you today seeking your guidance and support. Dio's actions threaten not only our lives but the peace and security of your kingdom. We believe that with your wisdom and strength, we can put an end to this menace and ensure the safety of all. King Vegeta's gaze shifted from one member of the group to another, his eyes filled with a mixture of curiosity and discernment. After a moment of contemplation, he leaned forward, his voice carrying the weight of authority. "You have my attention," he said, his voice resonating throughout the chamber. "Speak your case, and we shall deliberate upon the best course of action." The group took a collective breath, their hearts filled with hope and determination. They knew that with the king's support, their chances of success against Dio would be greatly amplified. Together, they began to lay out their plan, sharing every detail and emphasizing the urgency of their mission. "Take your crew Fasha with you and I will give you Nappa, Paragus, Beats, Leek, Taro and Zorn, to aid you on your quest." "That is all for now, go," said the king. They made their way out of the room as Nappa followed them. The group stepped out of the throne room, their hearts filled with a mix of anticipation and gratitude. They were grateful for King Vegeta's support and the reinforcements he had assigned to their cause. In the distance, they could hear the passionate exchange between Prince Vegeta and his father. Prince Vegeta's desire to accompany them on their mission was evident, but the king's firm insistence on his safety prevailed. Zorn closed the heavy doors of the throne room, muffling the voices within and leaving the group to continue their journey. Zorn joined them. The courtyard buzzed with anticipation as Fasha, Joseph, Jotaro, Suzuki, Tomoko, Abdul, Josuke, Zorn, Polnareff, Sadeo, Kakyoin, and Nappa stood together, their expressions united in purpose. The morning sun illuminated their determined faces, highlighting the resolve that burned within each of them. With a shared understanding of the urgency at hand, they swiftly made their way back to the medical building. Joseph bid farewell to Josuke, Suzuki, and Tomoko, promising to return soon. The rest of the group proceeded outside, knowing that every moment counted in their mission to stop Dio. As they gathered in the square, Fasha broke away momentarily, her steps purposeful as she sought to gather Bardock's crew, Tora, Shujesh, Borgos, Bardock, Paragus, Beats, Leek, and Taro. They soon returned, joining the group with a sense of unity and readiness. They formed a circle, each member contributing their thoughts and ideas. It was a collaborative effort, with everyone sharing their insights and strategies. They knew that success would only come through their combined strengths and unwavering determination. Bardock looked down at his son, Raditz, who had rushed out to meet him. A mix of emotions played across Bardock's face as he kneeled down to his son's level. Raditz's eyes glistened with unshed tears, his small frame filled with a mix of sadness and determination. "Can I go with you, father?" Raditz pleaded, his voice filled with longing. Bardock gently ruffled his son's hair, a bittersweet smile tugging at his lips. He understood his son's desire to join the fight, to stand alongside him and face the imminent danger. "I'm sorry, Raditz," Bardock replied, his voice tinged with regret. "You have to stay with your mother. Keep her safe for me." Bardock's words were filled with a father's love and concern. He knew that his family's safety was of utmost importance, and he couldn't bear to put Raditz in harm's way. Raditz's eyes welled up with tears, one escaping and rolling down his cheek. The realization of being separated from his father in such a perilous time was difficult for him to accept. He nodded, his voice barely a whisper. "Okay, father." Bardock placed a hand on Raditz's shoulder, offering reassurance and strength. "Big Saiyan warriors don't cry in public, Raditz," he said, his voice firm but tender. "They stand strong, facing the incoming danger with unwavering resolve." Raditz sniffled, wiping away the tears that had escaped. He looked up at his father, determination shining through the sadness in his eyes. Taking a deep breath, he straightened his posture, trying to emulate the strength his father had shown him countless times before. Bardock's words resonated within him, providing a newfound sense of courage. "That's more like it," Bardock said, a hint of pride in his voice. He pulled Raditz into a tight embrace, holding him close for a moment before reluctantly letting go. "Take care of your mother, Raditz. I'll be back before you know it." Raditz nodded, his small face a mix of emotions. He watched as Bardock and the giant group walked away. Thanks for listening to this tale. Make sure you comment, like and subscribe and have a wonderful day.